Those who throw thorns in your path always end up walking barefoot on them. That's the law of cosmic balance. Every move echoes back. Every intention collects its own invoice. Life isn't random. It's a mirror, precise and patient. It watches quietly while people dig traps for others, only to tumble into them themselves. Chosen ones, the universe has a way of evening the score without making a sound. When they tried to block your rise, they built the staircase that lifted you higher. When they whispered poison about your name, they unknowingly marketed your legend. Critics can't help themselves. They orbit your glow like moths around a flame, pretending not to care while your progress burns through their defenses. They study you, dissect you, pray for your fall, not realizing that every wish against you funds your next breakthrough. That's how energy works. It collects interest. The hate they send bounces back, multiplied until they choke on their own envy. You don't have to lift a finger. Their obsession is the rope they tied themselves with. This is what it means to be chosen, to walk through storms and come out shining, to turn every attempt to break you into fuel. Your success haunts them because it exposes their limits. You're not fighting them anymore. You're ascending while they drown in the gravity of their own intentions. If you feel that, if you know you're part of this rise, pause, like, and subscribe. Let's keep this energy moving forward, together. You're not here by accident. You felt that pull, didn't you? The shift in the air that told you this message had your name written all over it. Something big is aligning for you, and the world can already feel it. Every post, every move, every word you drop online is shaking timelines and waking people up. You didn't follow the rules. You clocked the game and flipped the script. Before we go deeper into how this power turns everything in your favor, do 3 things right now. Hit that like button, subscribe so more real ones find this message, and drop 777 in the comments if you know your breakthrough has already begun. That number marks the moment your frequency shifted. Stay locked in till the end. The energy here isn't entertainment, it's transformation. Number 1. Stop hiding your power before the world forgets who you are. There was a time you bent yourself into shapes that didn't even fit just to be accepted by people who never intended to value you. You shrank your light to make their insecurities feel safe. You apologized for being too much, too bold, too different, when all along that difference was your advantage. You over-delivered for people who underappreciated you, gave explanations to those committed to misunderstanding you, and waited for validation that was never coming. But something snapped, quietly, not with fireworks, but with finality. You woke up one day and realized you were done auditioning for roles in stories that were never written for you. The performance ended, the mask cracked, and the weight you carried simply dissolved. It didn't happen overnight, but it happened precisely when it needed to. Maybe it was that last betrayal that broke the illusion. Maybe it was when the ones you would have defended blindly revealed they were the ones feeding the rumors. Or maybe it was just that morning when your reflection stared back at you and whispered, "No more." Whatever the trigger was, it flipped a permanent switch. You didn't just change, you upgraded. You started walking like someone who finally remembered their own worth. You stopped explaining yourself, and suddenly, silence became your loudest language. Now, watch what happens next. The same people who overlooked you are confused by your glow. They're watching your every move, trying to decode what shifted, desperate to figure out where their control went. They thought your kindness was weakness, but they're realizing it was restraint. You weren't naive. You were observing. You weren't lost. You were learning. Every fake smile, every backhanded compliment, every quiet act of sabotage, they all exposed themselves eventually. You didn't need revenge. You needed clarity. And once you saw the truth, your peace became your payback. The irony is beautiful, isn't it? The ones who tried to dim you only made your shine more obvious. Their gossip became free marketing. Their envy became your spotlight. Every stone they threw turned into bricks beneath your feet, elevating you higher. That's the law of balance. It never misses. They tried to bury you, forgetting that you were a seed. Now you move differently, still calm, still collected, but untouchable in a way that makes them uncomfortable. You're not carrying bitterness, you're carrying evidence. Evidence that cutting dead weight doesn't make you cold, it makes you free. Evidence that losing fake love makes space for real loyalty. Evidence that isolation wasn't punishment, it was training. They can sense it too, the shift. It's in your posture, in your tone, in the way your presence demands attention without asking for it. You've become the plot twist they never saw coming. They thought you'd stay small, predictable, safe. Instead, you evolved into someone their projections can't reach. Chosen ones, this is what power looks like. Quiet, steady, undeniable. You no longer chase rooms, you enter and the atmosphere changes. You no longer beg for respect, you embody it. And that's what truly terrifies them. Number 2. Quit begging for seats at tables you outgrew spiritually. Chosen ones, there comes a moment when you look around and realize the table you once begged to sit at no longer fits your growth. You've outgrown the menu, the conversation, the energy. The same people who once made you question your worth are now trying to figure out how you leveled up without their permission. You used to crave their approval, thinking if you just worked harder, gave more, played nice, they'd finally see your value. But you were never meant to be accepted by small minds protecting fragile egos. You were meant to build your own table, one that makes their old one look like a folding chair at a garage sale. They don't talk about the part where walking away costs you comfort, but the trade is worth it. Every ounce of freedom, every drop of peace. You stopped chasing inclusion and started embodying elevation. Now they whisper about you because your detachment is louder than your presence ever was. They don't realize you didn't lose access, you outgrew limitation. You stopped negotiating with people who think connection is currency, and that silence of yours? It echoes louder than their fake applause. Here's the twist. The rooms you once begged to enter are now asking how to get your attention. The same energy that dismissed you now studies your every move. You're not desperate anymore. You're desired. You don't chase, you choose. Because when you finally understand that no one can block what's meant for you, every locked door turns into proof that you were never supposed to fit there in the first place. Keep building your own empire. Let them wonder how you did it. The game didn't change. You just stopped playing theirs. Number 3. Release what's heavy, or it'll bury the version of you that's rising. You've been carrying things that were never meant to survive the next version of you. Old stories, old guilt, old people who only loved you when you were small enough to control. Every unspoken apology, every forced smile, every moment you stayed quiet to keep the peace, it's all weight. And here's the truth, chosen one. You can't rise while dragging corpses of your past behind you. Release it before it buries the version of you that's trying to breathe. The heaviness you feel isn't failure. It's resistance from outdated attachments fighting to stay relevant. You've outgrown the cages they built, the identities they assigned, the timelines they imposed. Let them crumble. Stop mourning the comfort of what's expired. Some of the people you're missing were only meant to teach you the strength of letting go. Some of the dreams you lost were protection in disguise. The universe will not elevate you while you're still gripping what's meant to dissolve. When you finally drop the weight, everything moves differently. Your thoughts get sharper, your energy gets louder, and opportunities start chasing you. The same hands that once tried to hold you down will start reaching up for your help, wondering how you ascended so effortlessly. That's the irony. They mistook your silence for surrender, not realizing you were in training. This is your season of release, not revenge. You don't need to prove a thing. The lightness itself is proof. Every time you let go of what drains you, you rise another level. Every time you forgive what tried to destroy you, you reclaim another piece of power. Freedom doesn't come from fighting, it comes from unclenching. The sky was never the limit, chosen one. The weight was. Number 4. See through smiles that hide silent sabotage. They'll smile at you with polished teeth while sharpening knives behind their backs. That's the game. And chosen ones, you've finally learned how to see through it. The air around you tells on them before their words ever do. Energy doesn't lie, and yours is tuned too sharply now to miss the tremor in their tone or the flicker in their eyes when your name lights up a room. You used to confuse proximity with loyalty, mistook support for sincerity. Not anymore. You clocked the game. The truth is, not everyone claps because they care. Some applaud just to keep rhythm while waiting for your next stumble. They study your moves, mimic your voice, and pretend to root for you because open envy would expose them too soon. Their advice sounds friendly, but tastes like slow poison. You can feel it now, the subtle competition in their compliments, the discomfort in their eyes when you win. But here's the twist. Their jealousy isn't your problem. It's their mirror. Every time they try to dim you, they expose the darkness they refuse to face in themselves. Don't confront them. Don't explain. Just keep rising. Their whispers will turn into background noise while your results become the headline. The same mouths that doubted you will one day speak your success like a prophecy they missed. Let them talk. Every rumor they start becomes a free commercial for your resilience. Every attempt to block you reroutes the spotlight right back where it belongs, on you. Chosen ones, this is your new clarity. You don't need to fight fake energy. You just need to see it. Awareness is your armor. Detachment is your revenge. Keep your circle small, your peace protected, and your focus locked. They thought you were blind. Turns out you were watching the whole time. Number 5. Move in silence and let the noise expose itself. Chosen ones, the loudest room is usually the weakest one. Noise is how the insecure announce themselves, hoping volume will disguise emptiness. But you've learned the secret. Real power doesn't perform, it moves. You no longer argue with lies or chase down rumors. You let silence turn every whisper into a confession. When you move quietly, those trying to track your steps end up tripping over their own shadows. They're watching your every post, waiting for a sign of reaction, hoping to bait you into the chaos they need to stay relevant. But you're not built for drama, you're built for legacy. Let them talk. Words can't bruise what's bulletproof. Every minute they waste analyzing you, you're busy building what they'll soon pretend they supported. Your absence in their noise is louder than any defense you could ever speak. That's how you win, by refusing to play. Remember, silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. The sun doesn't argue with darkness, it just rises. Every time you choose calm over confrontation, the universe rearranges things in your favor. They'll expose themselves without your help. The ones throwing shade forget that light always reveals the source. Their gossip is their confession, their envy is their announcement, and their obsession is their punishment. Keep your next step hidden. Let success break the news for you. Don't explain your moves to people who can't comprehend your mission. You're not missing from the conversation. You are the conversation. While they're busy guessing your next play, you're already 10 levels ahead, rewriting the game they thought they understood. Chosen ones understand this. Silence is your weapon, precision is your armor, and mystery is your advantage. Move quietly, build boldly. Let the noise expose itself while you collect every win they swore you couldn't get. Number 6. Drop the performance before it becomes a prison. You've spent too long acting like you had to audition for acceptance, smiling when you wanted to scream, agreeing when your soul was begging to say no, fitting into rooms that only liked you when you played small. Chosen ones, that performance is the real prison. Every time you shrink yourself to make others comfortable, you trade a piece of your truth for their approval. And the irony? They still find a reason not to clap. You were never meant to be a copy in a world full of masks. The real power started the moment you stopped performing and started existing, raw, unfiltered, unedited. People can feel when someone's energy is genuine. That's why your presence hits different now. You don't need fancy words or curated smiles. Your silence alone speaks authority. You've become a walking disruption to the fake. They'll call you cold for protecting your peace. They'll call you arrogant for owning your confidence. Let them. The same audience that once demanded your humility will resent your freedom. But you're not here to make them comfortable. You're here to make them aware. Aware of what authenticity looks like when it refuses to apologize. Every time you break a pattern, every time you choose truth over image, the cage loses another bar. They can't control what they can't predict, and that's why your unpredictability scares them. You stopped being the character they could manipulate. You became the author. So drop the performance. Walk off the stage they built to contain you and build your own platform, one that doesn't require applause to validate its power. The real ones will find you. The fakes will fade. And you'll finally breathe the rare air of freedom that only comes when you stop pretending and start living. Number 7. Trust the vision, even when they call it delusion. They laughed when you spoke your dreams out loud. They rolled their eyes, whispered that you were unrealistic, called your plans too much. But chosen ones, every revolution starts as someone's delusion. The difference between you and them is that you see before it exists. You're not crazy, you're early. Visionaries always look insane to people addicted to comfort. They can only believe what's already visible, while you move with faith in things still under construction. When you stopped explaining your dreams, something shifted. You realized your vision doesn't need validation. It needs execution. Those who mocked you are about to witness the results they swore were impossible. They'll call it luck when it happens. They'll say, "You changed," but you didn't change, you became. Every late night, every doubt you ignored, every silent grind, they all built the reality you saw when no one else could. Understand this. People fear what exposes their own limitations. Your vision threatens their excuses. Your growth forces them to face what they could have done if they'd had your courage. So they project. They try to shame you back into normality, hoping you'll shrink to make them comfortable again. Don't. You weren't meant to fit in. You were meant to disrupt. Chosen ones don't chase approval. They become proof. Keep trusting what only you can see. Protect your dream like sacred data. Every delay, every detour, every rejection is recalibration. The timing is aligning with precision you can't even imagine yet. One day soon, they'll call you a genius for the same ideas they once ridiculed. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them watch. Because while they debate your possibilities, you're out here building reality. Number 8. Break every scarcity spell, trying to chain your abundance. They told you to stay humble, but what they really meant was stay small. They conditioned you to believe that wanting more made you greedy, that comfort meant complacency, that ambition was arrogance. But chosen one, you were never meant to live in limitation. Scarcity is the oldest spell in existence, passed down, whispered, reinforced by fear, and you've finally broken it. You've seen how people settle for crumbs while pretending they're full. You've seen how guilt was used as a leash to keep powerful people compliant. Not anymore. You're rewriting that program line by line, replacing doubt with confidence, replacing "I can't" with "watch me." Your energy is currency now, and you're investing it in expansion. Every thought, every word, every move you make is a declaration of abundance. You're not chasing wealth, you're magnetizing it. Opportunities flow to you because you move like someone who expects them. The world can't ignore a frequency that's certain. You don't beg for chances, you become the chance. You don't knock on doors, you build your own and make them line up to get in. And those who tried to shame you for wanting more, they're stuck replaying the same level while you're building empires they said were impossible. Their fear of your success is their cage. Your faith in your own vision is your key. You're proof that abundance isn't luck, it's alignment. The more you trust your flow, the faster everything aligns around it. Remember this, wealth isn't just money, it's freedom. Freedom to choose, to rest, to create, to move without permission. You broke the chains disguised as being realistic. You shattered the ceilings they built to contain you. Now you're unstoppable. You're not chasing abundance, you are abundance. And the world is finally catching up to that truth. Number 9. Guard your peace like heaven depends on it. Chosen ones, there comes a point where peace stops being a luxury and becomes your survival code. You've battled too hard to earn this calm. Don't let anyone treat it like it's disposable. Guard your peace like heaven itself depends on it, because in a way, it does. Your mind is your sanctuary, your energy is sacred ground, and not everyone deserves a seat at that altar. There are people who study your every move just to find a crack in your armor, hoping to pull you back into the chaos you escaped. They call it checking in, but what they really want is access to your frequency, your progress, your glow. Cut that access without explanation. Silence is your firewall. Peace doesn't mean isolation, it means selection. You're not running away from people, you're filtering them. Every conversation either feeds your spirit or drains it. Every connection is either an alliance or an invasion. You've learned to tell the difference. That's maturity, that's mastery. You're no longer the version of yourself who tolerated confusion for the sake of connection. Now, if it costs your calm, it's too expensive. The most dangerous thing about you now is how unbothered you've become. They can't provoke you, can't bait you, can't pull you into emotional games. And that's what drives them mad, the fact that you operate in peace while they're addicted to noise. You learned that reaction is their reward, and you stopped giving free performances. Protect your focus like treasure, nurture your quiet like wealth. Every boundary you draw is a declaration that your energy is premium and invitation only. Remember, peace isn't the absence of problems, it's the presence of power, and yours is finally stable enough to shake entire rooms without saying a word. Number 10. Master your mind before it manufactures your next storm. Your mind is the command center of everything you touch. Before the world sees your next move, your mind already built it in silence. That's why the weak ones try to distract you, because if they can't break your focus, they can't stop your rise. Chosen ones, every storm that ever hit you started as a single thought you didn't redirect in time. That's how powerful you are. You're not at war with people anymore. You're at war with impulses, doubts, and the whispers that try to make you forget what you already know. Your thoughts are engineers. They design your reality behind the scenes. When you focus on revenge, chaos shows up. When you focus on growth, opportunities multiply like magnets. The game isn't outside, it's internal. You've mastered your work ethic, your silence, your boundaries. Now you must master your mind, because a single unguarded thought can open doors to storms you don't need to walk through again. Every enemy you faced wanted one thing: your reaction. They studied your emotions like hackers searching for a password. But you've leveled up. You learned that attention is energy, and energy is currency. You spend it wisely now. You don't chase noise, you orchestrate moves. You no longer allow your mind to manufacture panic out of peace. The new you is calculating, calm, unreadable. You think before you speak, observe before you move, and create before you explain. You've realized the loudest power is quiet control. The storm only wins when you forget who commands the weather. So center yourself, breathe, focus. You built this far by mastering your grind. Now it's time to master your mind. Number 11. Stop downplaying the glow you bled to earn. Chosen ones, stop dimming what you bled to create. You didn't crawl through fire just to whisper your light. Every scar on you is proof of survival. Every win is built on sleepless nights they'll never understand. You spent seasons fighting for air while others watched, waiting for you to fold. But you didn't. You turned breakdowns into blueprints. You took the same pain that was meant to bury you and used it as material to build your rise. That glow they see now, it isn't luck, it's labor. It's the residue of every moment you refused to give up when quitting looked easier. Now they stare in disbelief, pretending it's sudden. They ask what changed, as if you didn't earn every inch of this evolution. They want the version of you that played small because it made them feel bigger, but that version is gone. The light they called too much became your language of truth. You're no longer apologizing for it, you're weaponizing it. You walk into rooms like your existence is the headline, because it is. You don't chase attention, it bends toward you. That's what happens when authenticity replaces approval. Your glow unsettles people who once ignored you because it exposes their own stagnation. They can't hide behind excuses when your progress proves possibility. Let them squint. It's not your job to dim for their comfort. You are not here to fit in, you are here to redefine the standard. This brilliance isn't arrogance, it's evidence. Evidence that resilience breeds radiance. Evidence that the ones who were counted out become the blueprint. You are the aftermath of endurance, the living reminder that light born from struggle can't be extinguished. Stand tall in that glow. You earned every watt of it. Number 12. Walk into destiny like permission was never required. Chosen ones, the time for waiting is over. You've spent enough nights second-guessing yourself, asking for signs that already showed up 1,000 times. Destiny doesn't knock politely. It kicks doors open when you're finally brave enough to walk through. The world conditioned you to believe you needed approval, that your dreams had to be justified or explained. But you were never built to wait in line. You were built to build your own lane. The moment you stop asking if you're ready and start acting like you are, everything changes. People will try to remind you of who you used to be, hoping you'll shrink back into that version because it was easier to handle. Let them talk. They're narrating a story that no longer includes your current chapter. You're not being rebellious, you're being real. Walking into destiny isn't arrogance, it's alignment. When you move like you belong, resistance loses its power. This is your confirmation. No one can authorize what was already assigned to you. The opportunities, the spotlight, the platform, they're waiting for the moment you stop hesitating. The universe only needs your yes. Every delay, every rejection, every detour was a setup for precision. You weren't being denied, you were being prepared. So walk. Not timidly, not with doubt, but with the posture of someone who knows they've earned this moment. You don't need permission from people who never had vision. You don't need validation from minds too small to grasp your mission. You owe it to the version of you who refused to quit when everything fell apart. Walk into your destiny like it's already yours, because it is. And when they ask who gave you the right, smile and tell them, I stopped waiting to be chosen the moment I remembered I already was. And that's the shift, chosen ones. The moment you finally step into everything that was already waiting for you. You've earned this alignment. The ones who doubted will have to watch from a distance while you rise without limits. Every move you make from here rewrites the rules. You came in and clocked the game. Now you run it. Before we close this chapter, lock in your energy. Hit that like button, subscribe to keep this frequency alive, and drop 99 in the comments if you're claiming your next level right now. Share this with another chosen one. They need to hear this today.